Hey guys, welcome back to Through the Screen. I'm Charlotte.
I'm Emily.
I'm Erika.
We hope you've been enjoying our episodes so far, liking and commenting and sharing with your friends. If you've missed any of them, head on over to our channel and watch. And if you're not already, be sure to subscribe while you're there. This week we will be discussing a very important social issue, so be sure to stick around and follow us once again as we join together via Skype to bring you conversations through the screen.
This episode, we will be discussing body image and perception and how women are portrayed in the media. We will also be bringing you a heartwarming story about the latest rescue from John and Tracy Stewart's farm sanctuary, sharing 3 natural anti-aging secrets that use simple ingredients, and finally giving our thoughts on this week's Dancing with the Stars. First up, body image.
So this episode, we wanted to have a discussion about something very important in our society today, and that is body image. As many of us know, there is a huge amount of objectification when it comes to women in our society, and somehow we've created this idea of what the perfect body should be, which is constantly shown by the media, that this idea is weight determines worth. This has led to so much criticism and even issues of body dysmorphia and other types of disorders as women constantly try to fit this mold, whichever end of the spectrum they are on. What are your guys' thoughts on this issue?
So, I am studying advertising. It's my major. So, in the past, I've taken a lot of classes where we talk a lot about objectification of women and, body image and everything in the media, which I've always found to be really interesting because it's just amazing just how sad it is. And I remember when I was studying, one of the biggest videos that really stood out to me was a video that Dove did called Evolution. And it was basically the journey of this woman from her photo shoot to the billboard. And, they would put a lot of makeup on her, and after they took the picture, they would widen her eyes and make her nose smaller, her lips bigger, her face slimmer, like all these things, even add hair or change her skin tone. And so by the time the picture actually made it to the billboard for whatever ad it was basically unrecognizable, let alone even a human being. I just think it's really sad that we have so many issues of body image, especially among young girls, trying to attain this image that isn't even realistic. All these magazines of supermodels and everything, even though they're already incredibly thin, they're made even thinner. And, so much about their bodies is changed in Photoshop that it's not even a real person that these girls think that they should be like. And I think it's really sad. And it's not only weight, like I said, it can be complexion too. I know for a fact that Beyonce did a magazine cover where I believe they lightened her skin, and it kind of just makes girls feel like they have to fit that. And I think that it's just really sad. And, it's led to so many different disorders. It's estimated that 20 million women suffer from an eating disorder in the United States. And about 2% suffer from body dysmorphia, which is basically where you're looking in the mirror, but you see something that's not there. Like you think you're heavier than you are, or you see your face differently than it is. And, like I said, it's just really sad since, these images that they say that we should look like aren't real,
I agree. It brings like a whole, again, it brings up a whole debate of, is this the portrayal we want to be giving to the next generation? Do we want to say this is how you need to promote, and this is how you need to look, and this is how you need to advertise? And, we all know, it's been a saying as long as I can remember, sex sells. So obviously, if you're selling something to, say, a guy, I'm sure Emily has heard this plenty of times in advertising. If you're selling something to a guy, you're most likely going to want to have a naked girl on it. That way, the guy wants, to. Perfect example is, the Carl's Jr. Burger commercials where it's
I was just thinking
hot, sexy model eating a burger, and it's like,
what does that have to do with a burger?
She's in a bathing suit eating a burger. Like, that girl would really be in a bathing suit eating a burger. Oh, now.
Right.
Come on. It's stuff like that. So, I mean, we see it every day in our society. And, I mean, even our society itself is, it caters to, not just the rich and famous, but, the pretty and the, clubs, for example, they're, told at the door, let all the pretty girls in, try and get them in as fast as possible, and, just let the others wait in line and just get all the pretty girls in the club and all that stuff, because they want, the guys in there to spend money.
Yeah.
That's why most clubs let girls in free. It's really crazy to think about. It really is.
So I just feel that body image is such a big issue within the world because there's so many, we live in such a broken society. And like Emily said, there's this, like, she's in advertising and they make this girl into something that she's not. And like this girl starts like off, like she's beautiful. Like everyone is beautiful. Right. Whether you think you're not, you are. And they take her and make her into something she's not. And it wrecks, like it completely shatters self-confidence. Like everything is gone.
I kind of feel like though, like they try and shatter self-confidence right away because I mean, what is the main thing little girls play with? A Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does Barbie doll look like? Yeah. Unrealistic human being.
Right, and they've done research at like if Barbie was a real person, her back would literally break because her waistline is so small. So it's unrealistic.
Boobs are so big.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it's like come on. Sorry, Erika.
No, that's a really good point. And, like, I just feel like now there's these girls and it's a competition. Like, in high school, it leads to bullying. Mm-hmm. It leads to eating disorders. It leads to dysmorphia. It leads to even, like, suicide. Like, these issues are real and, like, it's intense. And I see posts online all the time where, like, who wants to cuddle a sack of bones, or who wants to cuddle a stick? Nobody wants a stick. Nobody wants, like, a fat person. Like, no. Like, you don't. Everybody is equal, and everybody's loved, and everyone is beautiful. And this topic makes me mad because it's such a big issue in the world that really needs to be talked about, because until we really learn how to love ourselves and how to see ourselves the way that we should, it's not going to stop. The bullying's not going to stop. The competition's not going to stop. Like, why are we, like, even with, like, I know Instagram, like, was a big thing, but, like, I take selfies all the time, but I took a selfie, and I generally, like, when I like the picture, but as I click there, I don't original anymore. Like, it just, you go through filters after filter after filter, you into something that you're not, and you should love yourself the way.
See, that's why I never use filters. I'm like, filters should only be used for throwback pictures that you cannot see. Like, that's just how I feel. That's how I feel about filters. They're not they're not real, so I don't use them.
And I completely agree with you, but it's like girls, I'm corrupted by it. Like, I'm filter this, and like, yes, I don't have good confidence, but like, it's just to show, like, yeah, I'm being real right now. Like, this is real. This body image, like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you make a really good point. Is that, like, this isn't only one-sided. This isn't heavier girls trying to be thin. Like you said, there's also shaming on the other side of the spectrum, and I think that's also really sad. When I was in high school, like my eyes were actually open to that, because people say like if you're a size 0 or something, people associate 0 with nothing. And so, there's these girls that are like, I'm not nothing, So, it's both sides of the spectrum, and I think that's really sad.
Well, I feel like, one of my favorite shows did, like, a huge campaign on that. And their campaign was, 0 is not a size. Now, if anybody knows me, I'm like a size, like, 0, 1. And, yeah, it is a size, but to be honest, it's not everybody's size. So that's the problem. Like, everybody sees a size, and looks at a woman and they want to see the size 1, the size 0, the size 2, whatever, regardless of whatever, her waist is or, whatever she looks like. So I feel like that's what they're trying to say, but at the same time, somebody like me who actually is that size, yeah, it kind of puts me down a little bit because it's not like I'm purposely this size. It's just the way my body is and my genes are. There's nothing I can do about it. Believe me, I've tried.
Yeah.
So, it's like that. So, most people would come up to me too and they're like, you're so skinny, blah, 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 like all this stuff. And I wish I was like you. And it's like, no, you don't, because I don't know why I'm so skinny. I can't, I don't know why. It's just I am. And, it's frustrating because, everybody's like, oh, you're a twig, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not comfy when you're laying on your side and you can feel your ribs sticking out. It's not fun.
Yeah, I think people always think the grass is greener on the other side, and it's just not true. It's not always true.
100% true, Emily. Like, everybody thinks that. Everybody thinks, oh, again, we come back to happiness. Oh, when I get here, I'll be happy. When I get here, I'll be happy. When I get here, I'll be happy. It's the same way, with weight loss and weight gain. Women are like, if I get to this goal, I'll be happy. And then they're like, if I get to this goal, I'll be happy. And then, and before you know it, they're unhealthy.
Right.
Then this is where this whole issue comes into play, because a lot of women just, and in men too, we can't put men out there because men do it too. Men and women alike, they both, we're sex and we both care about, what we look like as human beings to portray it out into the world, regardless of, if we say it or not. So it's kind of like a slap in the face when somebody says, I don't want to be with a sack of twigs, or I don't want to be, more cushion for the pushing, or, like things like that, stupid little sayings like that dig into people, it's like, it's not really needed to say, and you're not really making yourself look any better, you're just kind of making yourself look worse, so.
Yeah, and I think, and media is obviously where a lot of it comes from. It's estimated that Americans alone watch over 3 hours of TV per day. And, besides TV, there's also social media, and there's billboards, and there's magazines. So that's really where this needs to start, this change. And there have been like companies and pushes to change this. I know Dove, for example, the company that did the video that I was talking about, that was trying to put this Photoshop out there. They often do commercials with more average-sized women of all different shapes and sizes. So, there are companies that are trying to break this, but there's obviously still a lot of work to do.
And again, Dove is a type of company where you look at it and it's like skincare. So you're not looking at the actual like body images, you're looking at their skin. That's a big difference, I feel like, where people like, where they can kind of like fool you almost. Because, again, people aren't watching that to find out, what size this person are. And again, they also look, if you notice, it's also usually different ethnicities.
Yeah.
To try and,
they're trying to break that too.
Stretch that brand out, So I feel like sometimes those commercials are kind of a little bit foolish in a way. They're trying to fool you a little bit,
Yeah, probably. I'm sure they are.
If you guys haven't, this obviously isn't our song of the week, but if you guys haven't listened to the song Try by Colby Calais, her music video is all about, like, loving yourself pretty much is the overall message.
Yeah.
I know it was on repeat for me last year. Like every single day, I played it over and over and over again, and I watched the video because the video has such a powerful message, and I think that goes really good with this topic as well.
Another example of that would be "Beautiful" by Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot of really good songs.
And that video itself, I mean, it's a perfect example of people viewing people and body shaming and shaming in general, just shaming yourself in general and not loving yourself. And that's really what this all comes down to. Is I feel like, many people are just told they're not good enough. You'll never be this, you'll never be that. Or maybe they're not even told it. Maybe, it's just hardwired into our brains to think like some things are just never attainable because we live in a reality of a situation. And I feel like, body image is one of those things where some people feel like I'll just never be that, so I'll just continue on this way, and it doesn't always have to be that way as long as you love yourself. If you love yourself, then regardless of what you look like or anything like that, you're gonna love it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and I think it just kind of goes back to what Erika was talking about, where people kind of think that weight determines worth. And I just think overall what we have to really realize is that each one of us is beautiful and that we shouldn't try to be something that isn't even real. We should just be ourselves and just be happy with who we are.
So if weight determines worth, that also brings me back to the beginning with Charlotte's point where sex sells. And I definitely think that weight shouldn't determine love and weight shouldn't determine your worth, but your worth and your love should come naturally, because everyone is equal. So if you guys have any opinions on body shaming or even your own stories that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear from you, and you can comment down below or message one of us, and we'd love to hear from you.
So this week for our heartwarming story, we decided to bring you back to John and his wife Tracy Stewart, who recently opened a farm sanctuary dedicated to saving animals who are sent to slaughter after they are no longer able to perform their duties to their master's liking. A bull named Frank escaped slaughter, and John stepped in to take care of him and set him up at the farm sanctuary. Now he can finally get his chance to live out his days as he should have, free. So if you're interested in seeing the video, which is really cute, we will have it linked down below for you to check out yourself.
This week, we're bringing things back to beauty. However, instead of trying something out on ourselves, we wanted to share 3 simple anti-aging treatments using just 3 simple ingredients. You may or may not have known about these, but each ingredient serves as a magic potion to combat the effects of aging, as well as harmful free radicals without breaking the bank. So what are these simple items?
So the first ingredient is red wine, and imagine checking in with your dermatologist for help clearing up a breakout and leaving her office with a script for Pinot Noir. Sounds far-fetched, but there's new science behind it. A just-released study demonstrated that an antioxidant found in the grapes used to make red wine slowed the growth of bacteria that cause acne. Not only that, but the antioxidant resveratrol also boosted the antibacterial properties of benzoyl peroxide, the active ingredient of many over-the-counter acne meds.
So another simple beauty ingredient for youthful skin is papaya. Papaya contains large amounts of vitamin C, carotene, minerals, and an enzyme called papain, which turns this fruit into an amazing moisturizer and exfoliant. Unlike many other face masks, papaya does not need to be mashed or blended. You only need the skin. To apply it to your face, you simply peel off part of the outer skin and swipe it up and down your face. Not only does this open the pores, but your skin will also feel soft and have a beautiful glow. Also, regular use of papaya on the face even helps to remove age spots. The best part about using papaya is besides the amazing effects on your skin, you can also enjoy the fruit and not waste anything.
So the final beauty secret is avocado. And avocado is super good for you as far as beauty is concerned. It includes vitamins A, B, D, and E, as well as healthy fats, which serve as a natural moisturizer. A simple avocado mask can be achieved by mashing a pitted avocado, applying it to your face, and leaving it on for about 10 minutes. The oils found in avocados are great for removing redness and eczema. You can also add agave or non-dairy milk for extra moisture. So we hope you enjoyed these tips, and we will link the article down below and let us know what you think or if you have any other tips that you use. So we want to hear from you.
She's not even, like, getting into it. 1, 2, maybe 0. Did not like. So this week for Dancing with the Stars was Most Memorable Year, which brought a bunch of heartfelt and downright sad stories from our celebrities' lives. It shows a very vulnerable side to stars you don't get to see through the screen. So what did we think of this week's top performers, and who do we think will be sent home?
The Most Memorable Year is always one of my favorite episodes because we always get a lot of really interesting backstories from the stars that we know and love, and a lot of them are really emotional. I think Doug was probably the most emotional story out of them all. He was also one of my favorites. I think he's really, really improving every week. He's actually becoming one of my favorites, and I'm really rooting for him. I noticed he did trip over Karina's leg, but luckily the judges didn't bring that up. But I hope that he can continue. One of my absolute favorites was Paige and Mark. I love how their dance was like a fight, which is really bringing it around to her UFC fighting. And I think Mark always does really creative dances, so I think that was very cool. I loved Jody and Keo's dance. I think it was really sweet hearing from the Full House cast. That kind of made me a little bit teary too, hearing them talk about her. But they did really well, and as always, I loved Niall and Peta. And obviously Misha going home was not a surprise, and she seemed very accepting of it too, so you know, it's kind of just like, oh, whatever kind of thing. But it was also cool to hear Andrea Day do some of the live performances of some of the songs. And what was really cool was that Antonio and Sharna actually danced to our song of the week, which is 7 Years by Lucas Graham. And he actually commented on their performance, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Emily. My favorite this week was probably Jody and Keo. I really enjoyed that performance, and I really connected with her backstory and her story in general, how, you know, she overcame something and tried to better herself after, you know, kind of growing up a certain way and growing up in the public eye, and then having it kind of just end all abruptly, and, you know, having to deal with that, and just how she did was really, I really enjoyed hearing that. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I love Ginger and Val. I think they're one of my favorites, too, and I'm really rooting for them to go all the way. As far as who goes home this week, I'm not really sure. I feel like everybody kind of gave it their all, except for Misha, which, again, was not surprising that she went home.
No.
Like, kind of commented on that last week. She didn't want to be there. It was really obvious, and she looked disappointed when she didn't get sent home this week, so we kind of gave her that little nudge and said, bye-bye. So I'm not very, like, sorry. So
yeah. I mean, even the scores are really close this week, so it's hard to even tell by judges' scores, like, who's going home. I think it's really difficult.
A lot of the dances I really enjoyed. I don't really watch the show, so I'm really bad with names. But I love Niall and Peta, as always. I loved the one with the baby.
Ginger and Val.
I loved the boxing ring one.
Paige and Mark.
and there was another one, and there was just so many that I really liked. I just love dance. But as Emily and Charlotte said, they did give them like their all, and it was like really well done. All the dances and the music was amazing. Like I was singing along to some of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great episode. But Nisha, Charlotte called it, I called it, Emily called it was obvious, and I'm really disappointed because, like, I'm a huge fan of hers. I used to be anyways. Not because that she got kicked off, I'm not anymore, but, like, I used to be a big fan of her because of, like, the OC and stuff, and, like, I thought she would give more, but she didn't, and I'm kind of glad she went home because her attitude was just not appreciated there.
It sucked, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as always, we encourage you to watch Dancing with the Stars on ABC on Monday nights or stream it however possible, whether through Xfinity or some other form of streaming that you have. And let us know what you think and follow along for yourself. And, of course, we'll be back with next week's critique next week.
This week's artist is the Danish band Lucas Graham, who have been quickly blowing up the charts with their self-titled albums. The band features Lucas Graham Forchammer on vocals, along with members Mark Fahlgren, Magnus Larsson, and Casper Dugard. Lucas Graham began their career posting videos on YouTube and eventually launched their first album in Denmark in 2012 and quickly gained popularity there as well as the rest of Europe. In 2013, the band signed with Warner Brothers Records after attracting attention at a show in Los Angeles, and following this, the band moved from Christiania, a small community in Copenhagen, to Los Angeles. In 2015, the band released the follow-up to their debut album, and it became an international success. This album features our song of the week, 7 Years, which is a beautiful story of growing up with a powerful piano melody and Lucas Graham's unique voice. So what are your guys' thoughts on this band and their song 7 Years?
Well, for me, just this song is one of the songs I've just been on repeat nonstop, just because I always love a song that has a story. And this song clearly has a story. It's clearly about something, and you can connect to it right away, and it relates to every single person, and just really facing, like, certain things about aspects of my life lately. Like, it's just funny how this song kind of is, like, you know, stages of your life and all that stuff, so I really related to that, too, so I really like it.
For me, I love piano. I find that piano is a beautiful, beautiful instrument, and with songs that have pianos in it, I don't know, I always get shivers. So this song, the way it starts, is beautiful, and his voice is beautiful, and like Charlotte said, like there is a story behind it, and it seems a little sad, but it's like it's really good, and it's definitely a song I would listen to over and over and over again, but I haven't had the chance to, but I will probably do that.
Yeah. I'm right there with Erika. I love the piano when the song first starts. It just gives me chills. I think it's really, really beautiful. And I love this song. I've really been obsessed with Lucas Graham lately with this song and also their song Mama Said. I really love both of them. It's funny because when I first heard this song, it was on the radio and I was in the car with my mom, and I thought he said something about Mormon songs. And so I was like, Mormon songs? And my mom was like, oh, maybe it's from that musical, you know, the Book of Mormon. And come to find out, it's actually a Danish group, and it was just their accent that made it sound like that. But I think that was kind of a funny way to first hear it. But I really love this song. Like Charlotte said, it really has a message, and it is kind of sad, just that, you know, his mom wanted him to get friends at 7. His dad told him to get married at 11, and he was, you know, smoking and drinking. And I just think it's really, like, a really beautiful song for the stages of life. And my absolute favorite line from the song is he says that I know that even the smallest voices, they can make it major. And that's like one of my biggest mottos is that, you know, even one person can make a difference. So I really, really love that. So we hope that you all enjoyed our pick for this song and artist this week. And as always, we will link the music video as well as how you can purchase the album down below. And so be sure to tell us what you think.
Okay guys, that's our show. We hope you enjoyed this installment of Through the Screen, and if you did, be sure to like down below and also subscribe to the channel. We also appreciate any feedback you may have. We post new videos every week, and we'd love for you to all join and tell your friends. Next week, we will be discussing a brand new topic, so you won't want to miss it. Until then, thanks for watching, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!
Bye!